Logic might tell you that to raise the value of a color, you would add white, but logic might not be the best way to do it. What happens when you mix white with any other color, any other pigment, is that it cools the color. So if you want to raise the value of a color, just adding white alone is not necessarily the best way to do it. Now I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. This color is sap green. Now if I add just white to sap green, you see it begins to get cooler, bluer. You can see that. You can see that blue. Let's show you just a little example on the canvas here. You can see that that's more blue-green. That's not really what you might call a nature green. So what can you do about that? Well, keep in mind what you're doing. You are adding back the warmth to a color because white subtracts the warmth out. So if you just keep that one little principle in mind, then you should know what to do almost all the time. So in green, I would add a little yellow back in. I would just go up into this. In this case, this is my Hansa yellow light. Doesn't matter, almost any real yellow, not necessarily yellow orange, but yellow. So I would add the yellow back in with green. In other words, instead of just adding white, come right over here, I would take white and add a little yellow into the white, not much, a little yellow into the white, and then use that. And I get more of the character of the green. Now let me show you the difference. I'll put them side by side here. You can see there you have a warmer green. You compare that one with this one, you see you have a warmer green. Red is another color. All the colors behave this way. Blue is the only one that's sort of an exception. Although blue does tend to go a little bit cool. So ultramarine blue, for example, does tend to go a little cool because it's a cool color. So if you're using ultramarine blue to do a sky, you would want to add a little bit of yellow back in. The phthalo blues and cerulean blues already have yellow built into them. They pretty much hold up okay by just adding white into them. But all the other colors require other things be done to them. Now, I want to show you alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson is it's a very cool red. So I've got alizarin crimson right here. I just pull it out on the palette, and you can see that if I add a white to alizarin crimson, it turns sort of pinkish. There we go, right there. Now, if I were painting, let's wash this brush first. If I were painting roses, and the roses were a bright red rose, or if I were painting azaleas, I wouldn't want it to turn pinkish. I'd want it to turn more red. Let's put the pink there to show you. Just put it right here, right beside that one to show you that's more of a pinky color. So, when raising the value of alizarin crimson, reach for a lighter red. So if I reach for cadmium red light, for example, this is cadmium red light, and let's go back to the alizarin. If I reach for cadmium red light to raise the value of alizarin, you see I get a brighter red. And I'll just give you an example of that so that you can compare the two. There it is right there. So you now have a nice bright red by using cadmium red light to raise the value of alizarin rather than just white. So you can go around the color wheel. The colors that are closest to the warm colors are going to need more adjustment. Purple, for example, would probably need a little bit more of a red to add it to it. Alizarin might even warm that up before adding white. So just use that principle of when you add white to a color, it's going to cool the color. If you want to keep the color its original character, you want to add a little warm color along with the white in order to raise the value. And there's your quick tip.